right, joining me right now to react and give even more insight, famed economist and author of the book, The Capitalist Code, Mr. Ben Stein. Good to see you, Ben.
Honored to be here, as always.
So what do you think? You like,
when
you
I was
dislike?
a child, we used to have I don't like it. We used to have a game we called 52 pickup. You'd pick up a deck of cards, just throw them up in the air. They'd land all over the floor. You pick them up, and you waste a lot of time doing it. What's the point of this bill? We're already operating at full employment. We're already operating at full industrial capacity. What is the point of this bill? It makes everything much more complicated and doesn't really add anything to an economy that's already booming like crazy. The next step in this economy is inflation, and this bill is pushing us towards inflation. And not only that, I'm sorry, but you got to me a little sooner than I thought. I was eating a delicious Domino's pizza.
Okay.
I was eating a delicious Domino's pizza.
I apologize.
They've never paid me a penny in my life. Look, I don't understand why they're getting rid of the state and local taxes. I just don't understand that. The states need those for education. I don't understand why they're getting rid of the property tax. Home ownership is one of the keystones of American life. The House version that gets rid of the AMT, that's brilliant. The AMT is a nightmare. It is a devil's own instrument. It is a provision from hell. So I'd like to see them get rid of that. But I don't see what this accomplishes. If we had had no bill at all, I think we would have been better off than this bill. And by the way, I think it was, I forget who it was, but some incredible genius like Adam Smith said the best tax bill at all is one that just leaves things as they are so people can plan around it. Please, 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 let's everybody, now we've passed this bill. Going to go through. Congratulations to Mr. Trump. Let's not have any more tax changes for the next 30 years.
You know, Ben, you make a good point, because that's another one of the issues here, right? They're talking about delaying the corporate tax cuts until 2019. Well, that seems to me to be a recipe for making sure that corporations hold off on anything that they're going to do until 2019. So what's that mean for 2018?
Trish, we already have the corporations going crazy, spending, investing, doing really, really great stuff, hiring people. You know what the big problem with the labor force in this country is right now? A labor shortage. It's not a problem of not enough jobs. It's a problem of not enough workers. Every economist in the world would say when you have a situation of excess demand for labor, you don't stimulate the demand for labor by lowering taxes. I defy you to find a reputable economist who will say,
why haven't we seen an uptick in wages? I hear what you're saying, but what doesn't make any sense to me at all is that wages are not going up. Really, you look back the last 3 decades, and we haven't seen wages do anything to outpace even just inflation costs. Why is that?
It is a mystery. There are many, many things we don't know, and that is one of them. But probably a lot of demand is being soaked up by China and other Far Eastern producers of everything. So that has something to do with it. We don't know what it is. We also don't know why it is that productivity is not increasing as the way it should be and the way it usually is in a giant 9-year-long recovery. I mean, this has been an incredible recovery, but productivity has hardly gone up at all. We don't know why. What we do know is, at the end of the day, there's nothing that points to anything very positive coming out of this tax bill except the elimination of the AMT.
Yeah, but what about low corporate taxes? You can't tell me, Ben Stein, you're okay with the U.S. having the highest corporate tax all-in rate in the world?
You know what? I'm going to do something that none of your guests has ever done before. I'm going to say, you're right. I made a mistake. I should have included that. You're totally right. It is better to have a lower corporate tax rate. But I also think we should have had a higher than individual tax rate on very rich people. We have a very low rate on very rich people compared to what we've had in the past. You know, I'm a lot older than you, a hell of a lot older than you. When I was a child, the tax rate on very rich people was 80 or 90% at the margin. Why do we need such a low rate on very rich people in this country? I mean, rich people by definition are rich.
Success? Because that's really not what we're about as a country. We want to encourage people.
I don't want my granddaughter, who's a very, very sweet 6-year-old, I don't want her having to pay for the extravagance of our generation, or your generation, which is a generation
That's entitlement reform, then. Doesn't mean higher taxes. It may mean just saying we're not going to give so many benefits out.
I disagree. I mean, look, nobody's getting rich off Social Security. Very few people are getting rich off Medicare or Medicaid. I like the idea very much of raising taxes on the very, very rich. Even that's not going to be enough money. And also, look, we're completely ignoring the gigantic...
You know it's not going to be enough money. All you're going to do is encourage people to put their money elsewhere. I mean, you know that didn't work. Why did the economy start to boom under JFK? Because he lowered that tax rate. You weren't having to pay 80, 90%.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
And President Reagan as well. I mean, Ben, I'm a little surprised.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. If JFK did not live to see that his tax bill get passed, so JFK didn't see any of that.
Well, he wanted to lower taxes.
That was passed under LBJ. He wanted to lower taxes, and the fact that the economy boomed under Reagan had to do with the fact that it was recovering from a gigantic recession before he took office. But look, there is no data that shows clear-cut that there's going to be this dynamic scoring that the Republicans are always talking about that's going to push up productivity and revenue growth so much that it'll offset the revenue loss from the taxes. Why are we so blasé about adding $1 trillion to the national debt? I mean, that's something that's got to be paid somehow, some way, someday. Why are we so blasé about that? Why do we not care about that?
You just tax people that earn a lot of money. You tax corporations because, well, why the heck do I want to go to work every day, Ben, and
Trish,
try and earn as much money as I can?
Trish, you're going to be living very comfortably anyway, I suspect. And I suspect
and you know I don't mean me personally, Ben. I'm talking about the American worker. Why would anybody want to go to work and strive and strive and strive if the government's just going to be taking more and more and more?
Because they will still be rich and they'll be still making a great deal of money. Even when the tax rate was in the 80s and 90s, there were rich people and they were very happy being rich.
Look,
it doesn't matter if you raise the tax rate to 50% on very rich people; they'll still be rich. They can still have all the Bentleys they want. That doesn't matter.
You're sounding more and more like the Californian sir that you are, and I say that with respect. I was just out in your state, and I love it, but.
It's a great, 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 wonderful state, but our taxes are way too high. They're insanely high.
But you just told me you're okay with higher taxes, Ben. You're going to pay 90%, right?
I don't pay 90%, but I will tell. Well, maybe at some rates, in some parts, I do actually pay 90%.
Forgive me, Ben.
But look,
I have to preempt you with the president right now. He is coming out. Let's go right now to hear President Trump.